the Biofriendly Podcast. It's the Biofriendly Podcast.
If we get a chance to make another movie in our lifetime, I want there to be a character named Todd Watersocks. He could be a good guy, he could be a bad guy, maybe he's just the newsman.
Yeah.
But I just want a Todd Watersocks in a future project. Okay.
100%.
100%. Hundo P.
Hundo P.
It sounds like someone that would be very nice in the beginning, and then something traumatic happened, and he just turned out to be just
terrible.
A monster.
Oh, I like that idea. That's the character arc, is that everybody likes Todd Watersocks, and then it's like something bad happens, and they're like, it couldn't be Todd.
Couldn't be Todd Watersocks?
He would never do something like that.
Todd Watersocks is our reliable 5 o'clock newsman.
He's a great guy. He's a great guy.
He's Todd Watersocks. Turns out, no, not so great.
Not at all.
The guy probably wastes a lot of plastic.
He does. And it's a good point, Noel, because we've done this Biofriendly Podcast. We've done something we've never done before in the history of the show.
In the history of the show.
Never done a part 1 and a part 2.
We've never had a topic so broad.
No, we've never done it. But today, we're doing it.
We did it.
So broad.
Oh my God, the broadness.
The broadness of this topic.
Well, that just tells you how great this event is. This plastic-free July.
It is. I think plastic-free July is something you got to pause. You got to acknowledge. We just realized last week we were talking through, and I was like, man, I've got like 30 other points here to get through, and we realized we're not going to be able to do it quick enough. So we were like, let's just relax.
Let's talk about July, all July.
Let's talk about July, all July.
All July.
And episode 3 and 4, all July. It's going to be no. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
These are the only 2. All right, let's pick up where we left off. As you guys know, we are in Plastic Free July. We talked about last week's episode, if you missed it, that this has been going on since 2011, and it was created by, I don't even think I read her name.
you did not.
I did not. What a
We know she's Australian.
we
though.
knew we got on the tangent about the Tasmanian Devils and all that stuff. So here, her name is Rebecca Prince Ruiz, and she's the founder of Plastic Free July. So she started it, and now you can go sign up, you can get involved, and you might be hearing this episode and going, I'm halfway through July. I missed it. No, you didn't. You can still go plastic free.
I mean, gang,
Come on.
July's still going on.
July's still going on. And even if you hear this episode at Christmas, even if it's Christmas time and you're like, it's time to get caught up on my Biofriendly Podcast. And you're like, you hit this one, you're like, well, it's December. I don't need to worry about this now. No, that's not the point. The point is to inspire you. Inspire. That's what we're here to do.
Grow a natural Santa Claus beard. Not one of those plastic Santa Claus beards.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, don't get one of those ones that's never going to biodegrade. Grow the real deal. And if not, find human hair.
And paste it
to your face with environmental glue. But we're going to continue on.
You're making a lot of sense.
I'm making a lot of sense. We're going to continue on with the plastic-free advice that we're going to give you guys.
Okay.
So the next thing up is a classy choice.
Oh, let's
It's
get
pretty
classy. Let's get classy.
Ready to get classy? Use a handkerchief instead of a disposable tissue. So in your pocket, you could start carrying around a handkerchief. And be like, don't mind, just unfurl it and go, and put it back in your coat pocket again, like the good old days.
That's good. I agree.
What I'm saying is, like, it's classy.
I agree with it.
Yeah.
I'm curious about why it's on the list.
Oh, maybe because disposable tissues have plastic in them.
Aren't they?
They're paper.
Made of paper.
Yeah, but I don't know. This is an advice. You're right. I was reading it and I was like, oh, that's a good advice, but. Is it possible that maybe some of these tissues, there's some microplastics in these?
Unnecessary trash.
Right.
I mean, it's a good point. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. We're just gonna have to do a research project to figure.
That's fair.
Maybe I didn't. Maybe there's as part of fluffing it up.
There might be
some oil in the process. Some plastic.
You know, some of these technologies. There's tissue technology.
Tissue tech.
Yeah, because if you think about it, when we were kids, it was just Kleenex, which is we call it Kleenex, which even though that's a brand name. But along the way, they were like, we're gonna Puffs Plus, Kleenex, oil soaking, absorbing.
Sure.
You know, all these things that they've added to tissues. The tissue business has maybe gotten a little out of control.
Maybe the tissue business is out of control.
I'm just saying, like, maybe the person who made this list is like, people don't realize that they're literally Kleenex microplastic and puffs. That's like the addition. It says.
I want to do
an
episode
on tissues.
on what the hell is going on with this.
Okay.
How is this on? Like what?
Why did this make the list?
What is in these paper plot products? These paper towels and tissues.
Yeah.
That's destroying our planet.
Yeah.
Because we may as well get to the bottom of it.
Right. We got to.
Because if it's on, there must be a reason.
There
why
must
it's
be
on
a
the
reason.
List.
Yeah.
It's there.
So I'm wondering
It's not like you pick some random stupid list.
No.
That has nothing to do with plastic-free
No. This is a legitimate source here. Legitimate. All right. Here's a real one though.
Okay.
The other one was fake.
That one might be a real one.
I don't know. No, it might be.
I just want to. It makes me curious.
Let's do an episode on
now.
tissues.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Switch to e-bills. Again, this is paper. Well, no. It is plastic.
E-bills.
Because, e-bills. So, like, if you think about it, if you switch to all that reduces all sorts of packaging and things that they send you in the mail. It's not just paper. The thing about the crap you get in the mail, there's all sorts of, like, plastic coverings and things like that. Yeah, the envelopes itself. So this is just a way that you can be like, I'm reducing the waste that's coming in my inbox all the time. Switch your bills to being online. This is another thing that you can do to reduce some aspect of plastic waste and paper waste.
That might be the tissue issue as well with the packaging.
I don't know, man. It says a plastic-free challenge on this list. That's what
No, hey. I see the list.
You
it's
see
clearly
it says plastic-free challenge.
It's very clear. It's very clear. There are like sometimes a little plastic window on the thing that you get from. No, it's not. Yeah, well, and a lot of them don't even use that. They just put the envelope. Yeah. And there's not a ton of.
Okay, so all right, Veronica, will you make a note?
I'll make a note.
Make a note. Why tissues and why e-bills are being listed on a plastic-free challenge? Like
right. If it's waste-free. Like I said, these are good things to go for, and we should do them.
Yes.
I'm actually all for
waste-free.
Both of these things.
100%.
I'm just curious as to why they're on this list.
Yeah, because did the person compiling this list just get confused? And they were like, Johnson, we need plastic-free. And he was like, waste-free.
I have found that from time to time,
yes,
sometimes the environmental sites will like ignore they'll put a headline. The headline is this thing, and then just talk about general environmentalism.
Okay.
And I'm worried
that's what's happening.
That this person might be doing that a little bit.
Okay.
Doesn't mean that I'm right, and I totally get your point. Like sometimes there's a bit of extra something in those.
But that's more of a paper waste issue than it is a plastic waste issue.
Bills in general, they're trying to find the cheapest way to get you that paper that they can. So for the most part, even though they're removing the plastic, a lot of times it's just an empty slit that just shows your address there, right? Yeah. So, it's kind of being self-solved in terms of plastic.
Yeah, but waste in general.
But it definitely adds to waste.
Yeah. All right, now here is one that's actually real.
This one's real.
Whoever this person is, this Todd Watersock, reuse jars and containers for leftovers.
Oh God, yeah.
There you go.
That's an excellent.
That's a big one, because it's taken us a while in my household to get to this place, which is a lot of the containers in my home now are glass, and they're the kind that you can reuse over and over and over again, instead of these like little dinky plastic ones that leach kind of weird stuff on your food anyway. Like a lot of these, cheap disposable plastic containers, single use specifically, are not good for your food if you're going to store it.
Yeah, no, we're not talking about Tupperware.
No.
Like the heavier duties. If you have if
you have a set of Tupperware, by all means, use it.
If you have plastic, if you have bowls that are fashioned from good plastic that are going to last you many years. Yeah. You got them. Use them. They're great. There's nothing wrong with them. If they work, use them and keep using them.
Yeah.
Don't use them until they're completely unusable, which, by the way, will be 900 years.
Yeah.
So use them.
Yeah.
Use them, pass them down.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. If you've got it, use it.
Yeah.
But yes, if it's one of those, yeah.
A lot of these containers that are, cheapy, that's the thing, is you should store things in stuff that's going to last and you're going to keep for a while. That's the plan.
And try not to use the plastic, like the plastic Ziploc bags, things like that. That's a lot of times what people will use for a fast store, is to throw it in that.
Yeah.
If you can put it in a container, then that's
better. That's preferred.
Yeah, it's gonna create less plastic waste.
Yeah. This one's tricky, but I'm getting better at it. I'm getting better, and I confess that on the show because I know what it's like to live in the world. It's tricky. If you go to the produce aisle and you're getting your fruits and veggies and you're picking them out, it's a lot of those plastic bags. I mean, they're getting better. There's some stores now that you see that the bag is a compostable bag or it's, it's made from recycled products or whatnot. But a lot of those, really plasticky, clingy type bags that you gather your veggies and stuff in, those are the first thing that we reach for. We gather them together. And then the bad idea is you got this thing, you tear it open, and it's unusable. If you're going to grab it, you should at least use the bag in your fridge, right, to keep it stored. Yeah. But preferably, you get some kind of reusable bag that you can put your produce in while you're shopping. This is, again, one of those things you got to remember to bring with you. And I know it's not easy to do. And so you'll get yourself in the store and you'll be like, shoot, those are in my car. But it's just another little step that as you're pulling that plastic bag to think, next time I'm going to remember to do this right. Or if you can find a way to pack them in your basket without having to use the plastic wrap.
Yeah, which
that's
I know,
possible.
I know you look at your cart and you think 1,000 people have used this cart today and it's covered in disease.
Yeah.
Particularly after COVID, I'm sure that everyone looks at that and goes, I don't care.
I would never let any of these.
I'm wrapping this thing in plastic so it doesn't touch this greasy, horrible basket that I've got. And I completely understand that. I do think this is one of those things where you got to try to, every time it happens, go, all right, I got to next time remember to have a bag for this.
Yeah.
When you do it. And that's what we started doing, haven't we, with our little our shopping and the thing. We have specific bags just for that.
Yeah.
That we bring along.
Reusable produce bags.
Reusable produce bags. And those exist. Try to get them. Try to think about them. If you're using the compostable ones, remember to compost them.
Because if you put them in a landfill, then they won't compost.
Yeah.
and I mean, there's stuff like, there's even just the netting, like the kind that the oranges come in sometimes. You can reuse that stuff to carry produce for sure. And Absolutely. Then like things like onions, bananas, I'll just put those in my cart because I'm like, they're fine. They don't need to, that's something that I can rinse it off once I get home. When you've got those items that you go, this is already kind of a safe thing to transfer from one place to the next. Mm-hmm. I understand the things that have more sensitive skins that can puncture and you're like, I don't want anything to touch this. But more than likely when you're going to bring your fruit home, your apples, your oranges, you're going to wash them anyway. Yeah. You're going to wash them. You're going to make sure, even if you have them in the bag, I feel like a lot of us have the impulse to wash the fruit that we bought because other people have been grabbing them.
You should definitely wash your fruit.
Yeah, you definitely wash your fruit.
Yeah. So, I think this is this kind of also comes back to what we talked about earlier with making things a little bit harder.
Yeah.
But it's actually funny. You look at like cyclically how generations go. I mean, I think that we watched our grandparents be so thoughtful about everything that they owned and reusing things and not wasting anything because of the Great Depression and the Great War that followed, and just like and everything that caused for those people and how they were like everything I have is important and is valuable and I need to make sure that I use it, that I care for it, and that I keep it. And I have a feeling that the boomers that came after them saw their parents do that and they're like, man, my parents are obsessed with this and it's annoying.
Yeah.
Like it's too much, right? And probably it was too much.
Yeah.
Possibly it was. And then I think that kind of then spirals into now we're in the extreme the other way, which is I don't have to own, keep, or hold anything.
Yeah.
So that's not true either.
Right.
So we just got to kind of push back to where our great-grandparents
That's a great point.
Yeah.
It's a great point. This is something that I have done recently. Try solid bar soap instead of plastic liquid soap bottles. I actually am back to the bar. Back to the bar, baby.
I never left the bar.
You never left the bar. So I'm back. I'm back. For a long time there.
I have been drinking at that bar.
I've been at the bar since 9 a.m.
Since 1978.
And I will not leave. No, I did this recently. And because for the longest time, I had a loofah, one of those little, and I had the liquid soap. But I always bought these giant plastic soap bottles. And then I just switched back to Bar Native, which is a company I really like for deodorant. They sell these great bars. And then we had that guest on, who I forgot her name, that did all the skincare products.
Barbara.
Sure.
Barbara, thank you.
Paldis?
Yeah, it was Barbara Paldis, I think.
Codex, though.
Codex
was the
Beauty,
beauty.
and her name was Barbara Paldis, I think. So she gave me a bar, and that's kind of what brought it back. Was she gifted us what to try, and I really liked how it felt to like just have a classic bar again. Like I could feel it, rather than like pouring and blah blah blah. And so I switched back, and so this is something they're saying it's a good way to bathe and clean yourself off without that thing just withers down to nothing.
I am in the market currently
Okay.
for a bar soap that exfoliates.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because I feel like where I miss out as opposed to the loofah folks. The loofah folks get great exfoliation.
They really do.
And I feel like I'm missing out on that whole aspect of things.
Yeah.
So that's currently my current challenge.
Call now.
Is finding the right exfoliating soap.
Yeah.
That still, keeps pH balanced for a man.
For a man, but strong enough for a woman. That was a commercial from when we were kids.
I think it was the opposite for the commercial.
It's pH balance for
strong enough for man, pH balance for woman.
Yeah, strong
but
enough.
I actually want the opposite. I want something that's pH balanced for me, but strong enough for because the women exfoliate. They're smart about this. That's how they keep their skin so nice and lovely.
Yeah.
My skin's not nearly as nice or lovely as any woman anywhere.
You need to have an exfoliating bar.
I need an exfoliating bar.
Call now. All right. So switch to bar soap. So
Yes.
consider it. Okay. Buy natural fabrics and not synthetics. So we've done this. We've done fast fashion. We've talked about different brands. We even, talked about a recent clothing manufacturer that was trying to greenwash a little bit there with their little environmental gimmick. There are a lot of companies out there that are making the cheap thing, the fast thing, the thing that you can go out and get, and they're using stuff in your pants and in your shirts and your undies that it's not gonna break down. And they're using synthetics that probably are gonna irritate your skin on one aspect, but they're just not gonna come apart like they should.
And they
over
break
time.
down so small.
Yeah.
This is like a major microplastic problem.
It is a major.
Big time one. And it's not just in the ocean, it's in the soil. It's
everywhere.
It's in your lungs, it's everywhere.
Yeah, and we don't think about it because you don't look at clothing and think plastic. You don't. You look at the shirts and pants and you go, oh, that's denim or that's cotton or whatever. We're used to it. It's so flowy. Right. And so you don't realize that in order to cut costs and to make these things, they're using plastics and microplastics in order to make it cheaper and in order to mass produce these things. And so that's a place where you gotta stop and go, this shirt I'm about to buy, how much of it is plastic that I'm gonna be putting on my back?
Right.
So,
and look, don't be afraid to let it last. It doesn't mean that the shirt you bought is gonna be the shirt that you wear all the time for the next 10 years. But like you said, you have your pajama shirts, or you have your shirts you like when you're
lounging
gonna
around
get
the house.
dirty, or you're gonna run around, or you're gonna play with the kids, or something. Like there's different levels of shirt.
Yeah.
You can have your piles. You have this little column here is the new stuff. This is the quality stuff. This one in the middle here is for about pajamas, playing around with the kids, doing nothing. Then the one at the end is for I'm gonna go outside and just. F this thing up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Like that's and let it last. Like jeans, like people are paying for holes in their jeans.
Yeah.
Or
get the holes yourself.
Wait.
Yeah. Just get the jeans that don't have the holes, and then you can make your own holes.
Yeah, keep them custom made.
Make your own holes.
That's
guys.
just try to add a bit of time to everything that you buy, clothing wise. Just try to make it last a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And make that a game to see how long you can make those clothes. It doesn't mean that you can't get in some of the new fashion and try. You can do some of that.
Yeah.
But make it last.
Yeah. I think the overarching theme of last week's and this is slow down. Slow down. Slow down.
Make your own.
I have a true story. I went to the airport. I've lived in California now for 21 years, and I've always been kind of a fast talker. That's always been something that I had. I talk very quickly, but I went to the Oklahoma City airport about 10 years ago, and they lost my luggage. And I walked
Bastards.
No, so I walk up to the counter, and I'm in Oklahoma City, and this lady, and I walk up, and it's the baggage claim thing, and I walk up, and I go, "Hi, I was on flight, and I'm here from the flight, and I say this whole sentence, and she just, like the sloth out of Zootopia, looks up with glasses on the end of her nose, and she goes like this. She goes, "Slow down." That's all she said. And I was like, "I'm sorry." And then I started explaining something. I slid my California ID across, and she goes, "Oh, of course you're from California." So anyway, I thought that she was right, though. I needed to just slow down. We all need to slow down. It's okay. It's going to be all right. So I just had to tell you this.
You're a gentleman. You're a gentleman. I got to be honest with you. If I'm missing my bags... when you're
I haven't traveled enough at that point in time.
When you're in the middle of some place, like you're already not home. You're already somewhere else.
Yeah.
You like things are already weird enough.
Yeah.
And now I don't have my clothes and all the stuff I'm supposed to be wearing. Every time, and I feel bad sometimes for the person whose job is to get yelled at. That's their job. Like if you work in that place, they're not coming in because they're happy. Yeah. They're coming in because something's wrong, right?
Yeah.
So like that's a tough job to have. And so I the caveat is I do have some awareness of that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like that's it's not a great situation.
Yeah.
It's really not when you're dealing with that. So if the person who's sitting there is telling me to slow down. I gotta be honest, you're too kind. I think at that big, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
I don't know.
I'm in the middle of Oklahoma.
Right. What am I even doing here?
No clothes. Because your stupid airline can't figure out how to read a tag. And you're telling me to slow down? You need to speed the F up. You dumb, ugly piece of crap. Probably is what I would say.
Yeah, probably. That would go on in your head, maybe. She looked like your aunt. She looked like a sweet old Southern lady. And so I just kind of was like, I kind of chuckled it off, and I was like, yeah. And then she, and then they found my bags. Yeah. But it was just funny. Slow.
Well, probably
down.
I wouldn't have been that mean, but
yeah.
But you're very kind. You are kind to just take that in stride.
But you know what? I travel a lot more now these days.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd have the same level of patience, because back then I was flying like once every 2 years.
Right, that's true. Like
now I fly a lot, and I am traveling a lot for work, and so you do that enough, you do get this sense of like, let's go. Yeah. Time is money. I got places to go and people to see and things to do.
You're also tired. You get enough time zones under your belt, and you go to enough different places, and you have to get onto traveling. If you're going for a 1 hour flight, it's a 4 hour process.
It is.
More.
Yeah.
Sometimes 5, right? Yeah. Like because you have to get to the airport, and then you have to be there early enough, and then you have to go through the check-in, and then you have to sit there and wait for a plane, and then you got to be on the plane, and then you got to exit the plane, go through baggage claim, and talk to the butthead who won't tell you where your bag is.
And they go, slow down.
You see what I mean?
Yeah, I see. Anyway, it's a fun anecdote. But America, world, slow down. Okay, I'm going to be that person to you right now.
This used to be the Biofriendly Podcast.
It used to be. So some of these I'm going to kind of skip over because this is a part of a list. It's like these are things every day. We've kind of addressed some of them.
So high speed, I won't comment on the high speed ones.
No, that's okay. Yeah, drink coffee in the cafe. We said that earlier. It was basically saying like the earlier one was like bring a reusable thing to get coffee, and this is another challenge. It's saying, hey, go to the coffee shop and sit down and drink in their mugs. So we know that. This next one is very specific, but I think they're just trying to get you to try new things. Invest in beeswax wraps for food. So they're saying like they make some beeswax based wraps that you can have if you want to wrap stuff in your home. Keep food. You can have beeswax wraps. I don't know. It's very specific.
Okay.
Then opt for drinks in glass bottles or cans instead of plastic. I think that's an easy.
That's a good one. Yeah.
That's easy. I mean, if you go to the grocery store and you're getting a drink and it's in glass or aluminum, that's fine.
It's better.
That's way better.
Yeah.
Of course, not necessarily all those choices are great, but they're better than getting plastic containers.
Yeah. 100%.
So opt for those if you can. Okay?
Well, honestly, glass or aluminum,
yeah,
totally fine.
Yeah.
Hey, those are good.
Those are fine.
Those are good.
You can reuse them over and over again.
Again, they come from the earth. You're just putting them back.
Yeah.
That's fine.
And they break down. We know how to break them down and put them back together pretty quickly.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Boxed?
Boxed. So like boxed water?
Boxed water.
Good. That's actually one of the coming up here next. It says buy items wrapped in paper or cardboard instead of plastic. So as an example of boxed water is a company that we're friends with and like what they're doing. But they have good stuff, but they do have good stuff.
They do.
Yes.
It's better.
It's better. It's a better choice, but it's still
better.
Yes.
And I don't. So I want to it's like a.
Think of it think of it as a water transition.
Honestly, I would put it in the same department as Green Plus.
Yeah. It's a transition.
Right? It's better than what we were doing, right?
Yes,
you treat fuel with Green Plus, and the fuel is better. It's working better.
I'm
in
agreement.
More optimal to not be using the fuel at all.
Yes.
Right. More optimal to not, because here's the thing with the box water is in order for it to hold the liquid to do what it's supposed to do, it's not just paper.
No, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's like we
gotta line it with some
Tetra
stuff.
Pak is another company that we love. They're great people, right?
Yeah.
These are definitely more transitional for my taste products as opposed to solutions.
Yeah. I agree, and that's to your point. Is energy transition, water transition. It's like if you've built an entire society on people that go, I have to have my water I need to have cases of water for my children or for the back of my SUV to go to soccer practice. If that is something that you have not figured out a way to get water to your dozen kids running around, and you're like, I need a solution that's not as bad, box water, Tetra Pak, these things are a better solution. But I'd push yourself past that and say, okay, how can I get a large quantity of water to everybody in reusable cups, containers, something, so that I don't have to keep going to the store and buying these things. So it's a transition.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. Yeah. Yes. Well said, Noel.
Thanks, pal.
Well said. Sorry, my darn, there it goes. Okay. This one is this is good we've talked about this before. Buy from a it says op shop instead of new. So I don't know what op shop, but I'm assuming like used, like reusable stuff. So that's
go to the flea market.
Yeah, go to the flea market.
Go to the secondhand store. Go to the
If you're looking for something, you don't always need to have the thing that's brand new, sparkling, wrapped in the plastic at the store. There's a lot of people that get rid of things or sell used things from their home and their garages, and they're out there. There's a lot of ways you can cut corners. You'll save money too. Yeah. You'll save a ton of money.
Yeah. Good call.
Upcycle for gifts and art projects. Yeah. If you're a crafty kind of person, there's a lot of ways you can use
Are we telling people to be regifters?
Regifters, yeah. Basically, take whatever you got for Christmas or your birthday
and give it to someone else.
And give it to somebody else. No. I'm just saying.
No.
If you have plastic junk and you're kind of a creative, crafty type, there's a lot of cool things that you could probably create. It could be like a project with your kids or, something around the holidays. You take something and you turn it into a wreath.
Turn it into a wreath.
You could take some old G.I. Joes
and make a G.I. Joe wreath.
Half melted My Little Pony and old bubblegum wrappers and make a wreath.
A wreath.
Just saying.
A wreath, and you can hang it on your door for different seasons, depending on how it looks.
Yes.
It's going to be really nice.
This one's tricky because I have some local places that I really like, but choose a takeaway item that doesn't come in plastic containers. I have some places in my area that every time I see what they put their items in, like their takeaway stuff, I'm always like, it's like styrofoam, and then they take the plastic and they go like this, and I look at it and I'm like, you guys, can we figure out something else? Can we figure out like a paper box or something? It's just it always seems so wasteful, and yet I really like their food. But
but now are these takeaway places like hole in the wall local joints?
It's
or
a
these
hole in the wall local joint. That's the thing. Okay, you got thoughts?
2 categories.
Okay,
I have 2 categories.
Okay, bring it on.
If you are a multinational, huge business with lots of resources and tons of help, tons of employees, you're crushing it, then I don't accept that you are using bad materials anymore because you have the resources to invest in sourcing
and switch it
better
out.
stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
You can do it. You have a responsibility as one of the creators of the problem to help solve the problem. That's my opinion on the matter. I think if you're McDonald's
Fix it.
Yeah, you've got to change. And to be fair, McDonald's doesn't use very much plastic anymore.
No.
They're switching away from it. So, all right. So it's being done. And my opinion is if you have a large company and you have the resources, you've got to switch it up.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna hold a small family business to the same standard.
Yeah, I think that's
because you're like literally the people who are working there are mostly family or close friends or people who were hired for the minimum wage because that's all they got to do it, right?
This is a local spot run by a family that this is the only location and this is all they got.
They're just doing everything they can to survive.
Yeah.
And this was the business that they chose and they're just trying to make it. To me, this is a different situation because we have created we've created an infrastructure that makes it so that that's the most cost-effective way that they can do business, and they have to look at the most cost-effective way to do business because we don't make it easy for people to start businesses in America. We don't.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give them. I'm giving every one of these hole-in-the-wall restaurants a pass.
Yeah.
Every one. Yeah. You're okay. Wrap it. Do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Survive.
Yeah, and see if you are a patron of these places and you want to support and help them, then there's probably things that you can do with your containers. Take them somewhere.
Yeah.
If it bothers you, you could probably be like, all right, I'm not going to let these trays and these wraps go into my trash. I'm going to find a way to give them off to a center that will accept them. Because there might be places that will accept these.
You can upcycle that styrofoam container into a wreath.
Right. What's with your wreath? Oh, it's actually my favorite taco place.
Cut up that styrofoam and turn it into like a transformer.
Yeah.
Turn it into like a G.I. Joe action figure.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Make yourself a nice little art piece to hang on the wall. I don't know, man. Yeah. Or just give a styrofoam box to somebody and say, Merry Christmas.
Yeah, there you go. Merry Christmas. Enjoy. They're like, what's in it? You're like, nothing.
Nothing. This is for you.
It's the container, okay?
This is for you.
All right. So this one's pushing people a little bit further because it would require some steps. But the idea is make your own cleaning products, which is not a terrible thing. But it's like, spray cleaners and things like that. Finding a way to make them out of typical household items, baking sodas, vinegars, ways to clean off surfaces instead of buying them.
Yeah, go to Biofriendly Planet.
Yeah, we have tons of guides.
Go to Biofriendly Planet and just type in
cleaning products.
DIY, make your own. Or cleaning products.
We have tons of resources about that.
Step-by-step instructions to do all of this stuff.
Absolutely.
If you want to do this stuff.
If you want to do it. So that's what I mean is like, I realize that there's a lot of people who are like, I don't know if I necessarily have the time.
Like,
but
this isn't exactly easy, Biofriendly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But for Plastic Free July, they're encouraging you to do it because you might be surprised. And in our guides that we've put out there about this, a lot of times people will say, they'll go, I was using Windex or I was using whatever, and it was streaking or it was leaving this like real weird chemical film. And then I switched it over to this all natural thing and it's cleaner, it's better, it smells nicer. And I don't feel like I'm like hosing my house down with chemicals. So that's the benefit. If you want to take the time to find things like homemade detergents, homemade cleaning solutions, homemade, these things sometimes can actually benefit your kids, your pets, your whole household. It's just an extra step.
You'll be 100% happy that you did it if you do it.
Yeah.
But we at the kindest podcast in the business are not going to force you to do this one.
Yeah. I will come around to your house and force you to do it. I'm going to do that off the air, though. And it has nothing to do with Biofriendly. It has to be me personally.
Publicly, we're not going to do this. Privately, get ready.
I'm showing up. Yeah. This is a continuation. Bring your own containers to buy loose nuts and grains. I don't actually.
Do you ever wonder if we said we'd do 31 things for 31 days,
and they really
they just were like, oh God,
how do we do this?
Well, we did the 10 I know.
Right, exactly. So this is, again, I'm not going to too many places that are selling loose nuts and grains. I don't know that many. I mean, I've seen the Whole Foods before that have the barrels where you can scoop them and all that kind of stuff, but Whole Foods is already doing the green thing. So, this is interesting. Okay. I don't know if I agree with this one.
What is it?
Use newspaper and pooper scooper. Oh, no, that's fine. Yeah. Use a newspaper and pooper scooper for pets. Okay, I thought it was saying use newspaper and not a pooper scooper. And I was like, well, why not use the
Hold on
pooper
a
scooper?
second. You're making me grab poop with a newspaper?
Yeah, exactly. So you're basically saying, those disposable bags, those plastic bags to pick up your dog's poop. They're trying to find ways that you don't have to use those. Now, there are a lot of green companies that come out and they say, again, compostable, whatever, this is the bag that'll disintegrate. You got to do it the right way if it's going to go into the soil the right way.
I mean, that'll help the soil probably. Well, actually, dog poop, because the food.
It's a whole thing,
We
isn't it?
feed dogs bad food.
Yeah.
Like, you ever wonder why a dog pees on your lawn and then the lawn just turns yellow there?
Yeah, just dies.
It's because we're
not taking care
not
of our
taking care
pets.
of our animals.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know if it's going to help. There's probably. I think it probably makes the compost a little worse, but that's
All right.
what it is.
So then they're just recommending, hey, if you're going to go for a walk, maybe you could use a scooper and some newspaper to throw it away instead of a plastic bag. That's a fair thing.
Hey,
that's a fair thing. That's what people used to do back in the day before you could go in and grab the plastic bag to go pick up the hot turd and throw it in the trash bin, which sucks. I've had to do it before, and I hate it. Every time you pick up that hot, stinking pile. If you did the pooper scooper and newspaper, less heat in your hand. That's all I'm saying.
Less heat in your hand. That's what we recommend at the Biofriendly Podcast. Okay, good.
All right. Last, we're going to wrap this up because we're already, we're about to go into part 3. Buy from ethical businesses. Yeah?
Yeah, they had 10.
They had 10, and they had to make it 30. Okay.
They had 10. No, obviously. We want to buy good. Yeah. Well, why wouldn't you buy from an? That's better.
That's better.
That's better. But plastic free.
Yeah. Okay. Buy a recycled or non-plastic phone cover.
Yeah.
Case.
Yeah.
Case for your phone, your iPad. Phone. Yeah.
Phone.
Yeah.
Phone.
Okay. Yeah. Are those how readily available are customized sized non-plastic phone covers for the 300 different types of phones that
That's
exist.
very true. If you go to the store and you look for cases and covers and all that, the majority of them are plastic. It's very rare. Yeah.
Again, I think that sounds great, but nobody's going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Unless you've got the single most popular iPhone that someone happened to make a recyclable version of a thing for.
Well, then maybe somebody out there in the world can find a way to create this to be more of an option. I don't know.
Yeah. What is that the last one?
That was pretty much the last one. I was looking at this other one.
Was it pretty much the last one, or was it because are there two more that are ridiculous?
So one was,
I don't mean to. I'm not invalidating you. I'm just saying it's funny because
the last. So one that I skipped was bring your own containers to the takeaway shop, which we've already talked about how takeaway places have their containers to be better. This is like you're going to show up to the takeaway place with your own containers. I bet you in today's climate, that's not going to be okay to show up and be like, put my food in this.
Right.
I think that's probably a far-fetched thing. The last thing was it says, join a buy nothing group and commit for August. So maybe that's another follow-up to the July thing, which is like, I'm not going to purchase anything in the month of August. I'm not going to buy anything. Yeah. Not food. They're just saying like stuff.
Yeah.
So that's the idea there.
Hey, that's really cool.
You like that? Actually?
I mean, no, not for plastic free, but I like the idea.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff in there. I'm looking at it. I'm thinking, well, these are really interesting ideas. These are really interesting topics. I think I like them.
Yeah.
But a lot of them, I'm like, well, how about let's look at this for a different month, a different thing.
By the way, that was not the official plastic-free July checklist. I wasn't using theirs.
Okay.
There were multiple resources online. Plastic-free July was a much more intense program, and so I wasn't able to just pull a checklist.
Right.
And so I found WWF World Wildlife Fund was one that I didn't use because a lot of this was like, oh, well, we've covered a lot of this and whatever. And so I found this one that just said 31 days of plastic-free challenge.
Yeah.
And so that was the one that as I was going through, it was like, I think in hindsight, we found a group of people that were like, we got 10 things max, boss.
Yeah.
And he's
like, well, it's
31 days of the month, so we already promised
You're gonna have to repeat, but make it nuts.
Make it nuts, man.
Do it again, but instead of coffee, let's do containers for your food.
Yeah, man. Talk about sacks for your nuts and grains.
Let's talk about composting a lot.
Let's talk about poop.
Hey, you know how people waste stuff? Let's have them not do that until say it's plastic.
Yeah, that's probably what it was.
When I'm a boss, that's how I want to sound.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's it. Everything else on the WWF's plastic-free challenge was cool. It just had a lot of stuff that was
What's the one that has sunglasses?
The sunglasses says shop Reusable sunglasses. That's why I didn't choose this one, because they were clearly promoting
some brands,
products, and that's why I chose not to do it. There is a rationale in my brain sometimes.
No,
but I was
look,
yeah,
it was a good list. It just seemed like they were
actually, but it makes for good material. It gave us good material. So you know what? It's all for the cause.
Yeah. Well, see, here's the thing I would say is as opposed to saying shop from ethical companies. Yeah. I mean, obviously, we want to shop from ethical companies, and they're probably going to be more thoughtful about plastic, but that's not the requirement, right? Mm-hmm. Whereas when you say, if you were to say search for plastic alternatives in your shopping, right?
Yeah.
And you give an example of this is a glasses company, this is a company that makes shoes, this is a company this is a toothbrush company, and that would be to me more valuable of an interesting thing to say. Yeah. So let's put that on the list.
Okay, you got it. Yeah, and I think that's valuable. I think that your day-to-day life, you just look around and see what are the things that you can have that once it runs out, once you are done with your toothbrush and it doesn't work anymore, you could look into something and you go, do they make a bamboo? Yeah, they do. They make toothbrushes that aren't plastic. If that's something you want to try, it's a good way to go.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and then we'll just do a little reminder here that the purpose of plastic when it began, it wasn't created as a nefarious idea to ruin the planet. That wasn't why plastic was invented. Plastic was invented so that we would stop. It was a conservation, killing whales, killing turtles, doing things that we were trying to use oil as what we thought was a very available resource,
right?
That could be used for lots of things. The thought was this might be, if we can turn this into something more useful, we can make things that will last longer and will be better than what we were using before. And it was.
Yeah.
The problem is we went into our just economic efficiency.
Yeah.
And economic efficiency meant that we could mass produce lots of really high quality disposable plastic items. Mm-hmm. And so we have a ton of high quality disposable plastic items, and now we're realizing that we have too many.
Yeah.
And that it's causing a problem.
Yeah.
I agree. So this is just
that's what this is. That's what the point of these 2 episodes in this month were, just reminders and steps that people can take of plastic is not the enemy, but it's just something that we need to step back, and the lady in Oklahoma City said, slow down.
She's lovely.
She's lovely.
I didn't mean to say such horrible things about her in my rant. She seems great.
No, she pissed me off big time. Trust me. I just went like this. I was like, it's okay. I was mad. Yeah. I was mad. It's a funny story now.
But you kept it together.
I kept it together.
Kept it together.
So that's this week's second part of the Plastic Free July. So we're going to wrap things up right now. So we are your beacon of light in a gloomy environment.
Jacob's brain is constantly rebuilding itself.
And don't be environmentally gimmicky. And the new one is
featuring Todd Watersocks.
Yes. I was hoping you'd remember it because I love it so much. Veronica, do you have anything else to add?
Have a lovely day.
Yes.
I love it.
Thank you.
It's the Biofriendly Podcast. It's the Biofriendly Podcast.